With just about 10 weeks before the midterm elections, the Supreme Court is allowing President Trump's plan to restrict mail-in voting to move forward. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Steffi Roche. This plan would require federal agencies to create lists of people eligible to receive mail ballots and direct the U.S. Postal Service to send ballots only to voters on those approved lists.
It's Richard Allen is here with more on what this means for the upcoming elections and where this legal battle goes from here, Richard.
Well, it's a little bit complicated, guys. In fact, today's emergency order by the Supreme Court did not decide whether or not the president's order to restrict mail-in voting is legal or constitutional. Instead, it said that the states challenging this order, including California, could not show they were being harmed by new voting rules that had not yet taken effect.
Right now, we are dealing with a level of uncertainty.
Legal analyst Dan Eaton says in challenging President Trump's executive order to restrict mail-in voting, these 23 states argued that uncertainty would require them to divert resources from voter education to preparing the ballots themselves that would harm the states.
The U.S. Supreme Court said not so. What we are dealing with right now are a lot of hypothetical possibilities that may or may not disrupt the state's ability to carry out their prerogative in administering federal elections.
Meaning that for the time being, the Trump administration's plan to restrict mail-in voting can proceed. Under this plan, federal agencies would help create lists of people eligible to receive mail ballots, directing the U.S. Postal Service to send ballots only to those voters appearing on approved lists. News 8 political analyst Wendy Patrick.
Those lists would then be compared with people that are on the voting rolls. It's ultimately designed to make sure that only the people that are entitled to vote do vote. But that doesn't mean it's going to be easy to enforce or that it's not going to create widespread confusion, given the fact that every state does things a little differently.
Eaton points out that with 71 days before the midterm elections, further legal challenges are likely.
If the U.S. Postal Service starts to take concrete steps somehow to limit the delivery of mail ballots, you can expect that there will be another challenge when that rule actually comes down, if it actually comes down before the midterm elections.
In today's emergency order, the Supreme Court's 3 liberal justices dissented, with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson writing that the majority, quote, needlessly injects chaos and uncertainty into the upcoming midterm elections.
One of the concerns that's been raised in allowing the mail-in voting restrictions to continue is that people might really experience some kind of a chilling effect. Will they be dissuaded to vote at all? And neither side wants that to happen.
And Governor Newsom has already weighed in on the Supreme Court's emergency order, saying that the president's plans will disenfranchise voters across the country, adding that, quote, California will be suing again to block these Orwellian rules from being implemented.
And has San Diego's registrar of voters said anything in reaction to this?
Well, we reached out to them, so they referred all questions about this order to the Secretary of State's office, which sets policy for all registrars throughout the state of California. But they also said that when it comes to conducting elections, they follow all state and federal laws, pointing out that San Diego has a long proven history of safe, secure, and accurate elections.
With these actions happening, though, probably a reminder for people, make sure your registration is up to date and that you are, in fact, registered to vote in the upcoming election.
Absolutely. And tomorrow it'll be 10 days till the midterms.
10 weeks.
Wow.
10 weeks. 10 weeks. 10 weeks. Not 10 days.
You gave me a little panic. I'm like, wait, I'm not ready. I'm
10
not ready
weeks,
yet.
yeah. But it is coming up.
Yes.
Creeping
Thank
up
you,
on
Richard.
us. Thank you.
Yeah.